When it comes to being a photographer, no matter if you specialize in photographing incredible species around the planet, focus on food photography in your own home city, or photographing weddings, having an efficient and effective workflow process is vitally important. From the moment you capture an image to the time you have it safely stored back at your home or your studio, a lot can go wrong with your workflow. To better showcase what I'm talking about, let's take a closer look at my recent adventures to Costa Rica. It is here that I can talk about the various different choices one makes when out in the field, how to keep my images safe while traveling, and how all of the gear I use ends up working together within the workflow process I have created over the years. Now let's go ahead and jump right in. Now, the starting point of any good workflow begins with using the right camera gear to get the job done. As a Sony Artisan who specializes in landscape travel and wildlife photography, these days, mostly I find myself using Sony's latest mirrorless flagship camera, which currently is the Sony A1. With its 50 megapixel stack sensor, industry-leading autofocus, 30 frames per second shooting, and the ever-expanding eye autofocus, I haven't run into a situation that the Sony A1 couldn't handle. I usually pair it with the latest XPERIA smartphone. Why? Not only has most of that same technology trickled into the XPERIA line of camera phones, but they use a similar color science as the Alpha camera lineup, and I am also able to use the latest XPERIA phone as an external monitor when I'm out there in the field, which is a feature I have actually been hoping for years. So now that we are talking about capturing images or videos, let's go ahead and talk about storage and backup options. With my Sony A1s, I want to make sure I'm using the latest and most reliable memory cards out there on the market, which means Sony Tough cards. The A1 uses both CF Express Type A as well as SD cards, and so when I'm planning for an expedition, I try to estimate how much space I might need so that I never have to format a memory card when I'm out there in the field. Now this could mean bringing 4, 12, maybe even 24 memory cards depending on my needs. Once a card is full, I will use my Dell XPS laptop to back up those cards onto one of my 2 terabyte external hard drives, often duplicating that same images onto a second hard drive in the process. Between my memory cards, external hard drives, and my laptop, I try to have anywhere between 2 to 4 copies of all of the images and videos I create out in the field, just as a safety precaution. Once those images are safely back home and stored on my larger RAID box, I can then format and clear my memory cards and my external hard drives and prepare them for the next adventure. Now, as I just mentioned, when I'm out there in the field, I prefer to use one of my Dell XPS laptops, either the 13, 15, or 17-inch, depending on the demands of the job. Now in this case here in Costa Rica, I have the XPS 13 2-in-1 with me because it's not only incredibly small and lightweight, but because it has a built-in pen stylus support as well. So I can process images using a pen on these laptop screen, which is a pretty big game changer when it comes to processing images. I often use a mixture of Adobe Lightroom, Photoshop, and Capture One with most of my images, along with some third-party software such as Topaz's denoise. Now if I'm in a hurry to deliver an image to a client while traveling, I will wirelessly send the raw image from my A1 to an XPERIA phone using Sony's Imaging Edge software and process it using Lightroom mobile app. The displays on Sony's latest XPERIA phones are incredibly color accurate, and Lightroom Mobile gives me enough power and flexibility to do a quick edit and deliver professional results in just a few minutes. But what happens once I have a fully edited image, whether on the road or when I'm back here at home in my studio? How do I get it ready to be sent out onto different social media platforms? Well, the truth is that it's pretty easy and seamless when it comes to using my PCs and XPERIA devices. Once an image is processed on either one of my computers, I have a number of options to pick and choose from. I could easily plug in my phone and manually pull the files over. I could simply Bluetooth the images over using the XPERIA device, or I could use any number of online solutions such as Dropbox or Google Drive. However, my favorite option is to use Lightroom's folder syncing capability, which allows me to access synced folders that I have on my computer back at home with a Lightroom mobile app that I can easily access from any phone or tablet I use by simply signing into my account. From there, I can not only make further edits using the Lightroom mobile app, but pull those images off the cloud and share them instantly onto any social media platform I choose. The key is that I always have access to all of my processed and finalized images, no matter where I am in the world. And there you have it, an in-depth look at my own workflow process as it was happening in real time when I was just out in Costa Rica on a wildlife expedition. While it is often overlooked, developing a solid workflow process that works for you is an invaluable asset when it comes to being creative these days. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.